Hi guys, I'm coming to you from the mountain. So we'll see how my connection stays up. I'm all bundled in because it's a little bit chilly, obviously. But this is the Mercury Retrograde survival guide. Dun dun dun. Alright. What this Mercury Retrograde encapsulates is the end of an era. We have the last degree of Pisces. My dog's warning me that there's people coming. But anyways, we have the last degree of Pisces. And Pisces is the last sign, so it's the end of an era. Everyone is feeling vulnerable in that we do have Chiron in 0 degrees of Aries. And so what this Mercury retrograde can do is it really makes us feel vulnerable because there are certain structures in our life that are not working, that are being reformed, especially along with our identity and how we see ourselves and how we work in the world. So it's an end of an era for ourselves and also for our culture. And I was speaking specifically for American culture. So something that's common or something that's happening right now with like millennials making their purchasing decisions, you know, big department stores are closing, like Victoria's Secret and like H&M. You know, no one's really choosing fast fashion anymore. No one's really choosing Budweiser's like changing their campaign and changing their marketing because millennials are, as a generation, are entering into an interesting transition, and they're shaking things up with their decision making and with their ownership and with the way that structures are being dismantled in America. That's where, we're making our new culture right now. And so for the survival guide for you, now that you have that context that it's an end of an era, it's the end of an era in the meta macrocosm, and it's the end of an era within ourselves. And so things that could be really common during this Mercury retrograde, it's just going to feel like a brain fog. And it can be really easy to doubt and to worry about the future. So all the things that are going on now that are really intense, especially with our government, especially with the structures that are like dismantling, especially with money, this is all temporary. And if you're not doing the things that you set yourself out to do, that you really see your goals, if you're not in action of them, you're doing yourself a disservice because everyone right now is having a sense of beginning at ground zero, that they've had the best part of their life or their business or their relationships, and now it's feeling like there is this sense of starting over. And it's a boon, but we can misuse it if we stay in fear. Because we have this new moon right on the beginning of this Mercury retrograde. And it's a really tough Mercury retrograde. It's the toughest one that we're going to have. And it's tough because of the fear, because of the brain fog, because of the emotions that are coming up, because everyone is wounded. And this is being looked at. The way that the planets are this year with, you know, Jupiter being in its home sign in Sagittarius, we are all looking at our limitations, and it's coming up. Our limitations are coming up so that we can see them and move past them. But the thing about Pisces is Pisces sees everything very deeply, which makes them incredibly empathic people, because they have that raw energy and they understand a consciousness coming into form that is who they are in their energy. And so there's a dualistic aspect, right? We could be so fearful that we're not doing the things that we set ourselves out to do. We could keep telling ourselves a lie, like, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, I'll do it when I move into the house, blah, blah, blah. And then it could also be that we want to do all the things at once. So we may have... we may be too optimistic of the things that we can't do. Like, you want to start the podcast, and you want to write the book, and you want to start the YouTube channel, and you want to start like working out 7 days a week for an hour, and then you want to put yoga on top of that. Okay, like, just take a deep breath, one at a time. We're right now with Mars and Taurus. We want to go very slowly. We want to take things one thing at a time. Pick one thing for these next 6 weeks and stick to it. And it's going to test your limits. This is why this one is so hard, because we have this cleansing and this releasing of this Pisces new moon. We have Uranus that just went into Taurus, and it's going to stay there for 7 years. So all these structures that we have identified with ourselves in the past, it's being cleansed. It's being done again. Companies, again on the macro scale, have to approach things differently, have to change their policies, have to change the way they source items, have to change the way they treat their workers, because me as a millennial, we are asking for more compassion, more integrity, and decency in the world. And everyone is waking up, as you notice. And the intuitive Noah Berman, he talked about, in our lifetime, we will see less violence on this world because people are waking up. Your common people know about meditation, they know about yoga. Yes, there is like some propaganda against it, with like contortionists and like gymnasts really taking yoga to a picturesque level that can make others feel that they can't attain that. But that's a different topic. How do we survive this Mercury retrograde? Is that we take our medicine and we tell our truth. So communication is going to be so emotionally charged because of this dissolving that is happening with who we see ourselves to be and who we see ourselves in the world to be. America going through this identity crisis and then everyone else is reflecting that. Okay? And so when you speak your truth, know that all truth is subjective. There's relative truth and there's absolute truth. And with the Venus in Aquarius, that makes it a little bit more likely that people will hype themselves up. So if you're beginning a partnership, if you're beginning a relationship, if you're beginning to work somewhere, things may seem more than what it really is. And so just take everything with a grain of salt. Take it softly, take things slowly, and take your medicine, which means that all this stuff that's happening now, all the emotions that are coming up, all the limitations that you feel and worry about, know that taking your medicine means that you have to go through it. No one else can heal you. You can get support, you can get a counselor, you can get a healer, but it's you facing that. That is the medicine, is that you face the limitations and you face the hard stuff and you walk through it, and that is the medicine. So I will be writing more about this Mercury retrograde and the new moon. It's potent, it's deep. Take care of your body, meditate, do some forest bathing, really ground yourself, disconnect yourself, and treasure yourself and treasure your vision, because we are getting a huge redo in the next 6 weeks. And so just completely surrender to this new vision that's being birthed of who you are and who you want to be in the world. That's all that I have to share, and thank you for joining.